Okay, so our first half of this chapter is spent finding the surface area of prisms and cylinders and pyramids. The second half is all about finding volume. When we talk about volume, we talk about what does it take to fill that shape up. If I had a rectangular prism sandbox, how much would it take to fill up the sandbox? Or cylinder, if I had a can of soup, how much does it take to fill up that can? Okay. For a prism, the volume, which is usually denoted as V, is equal to the base times the height. Okay, so this is the area of the base and then this is the height of that prism. So again, thinking back to last chapter, how do you find different shapes for their area when working with the base? So how do you find the area of a triangle? And those things are still going to be needed. Okay. For your cylinder, okay, the volume is still the same thing. It's base times height. But if you think about a cylinder, its base is a circle, so it's pi r squared times height. That's the base, which is the area of a circle. This is the height of that cylinder. So it's the base of the circle, which is a circle, and then the height of that cylinder. Our first one, find the volume given this isosceles triangle prism here, triangular prism. Now, we gotta look at what is our base. Our base here is these isosceles triangles. Okay. Which if you think for a second, what would the height then be? Your height is the 4. Okay, so if I think about this answer here, again, it's base times height. We have our height, which is 4. We need to find the base. Well, the base is an isosceles triangle. Okay, so not an equilateral, an isosceles triangle. So you gotta be careful on which type you're talking about there. Okay, so draw in your triangle. This would be 8. We know these are 10. And if I drop this down, forming that right angle there, this gives me 4 and 4. Okay. Well, remember the area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. So we got to find that height there using the Pythagorean theorem. So 4, that was a bad 4 right there. Let me rewrite that. 4 squared plus x squared equals 10 squared. Trying to find this height here. That gives me x squared equals 84. It's 100 minus 16. Take the square root. That is x equals 2 root 21. Okay, so 1/2 times 8 times 2. That gives me 8. So we got 8 root 21. Okay, back up to the top. That in the end gives us 32 root 21. And this is inches. And it's inches cubed because we're talking about. Okay, continuing on to our next shape. We have the cylinder down here. Okay, with a cylinder, again, it's still base times height, but remember the base is a circle in this case. Let's change up our colors a little bit here. Okay, so for this example, again, it's base times height, but it's pi r squared times height. And that's going to be our volume. Oh, well, let's just go through and see what we have already. Oh, there's r. So pi 4 squared. Oh, and our height there is 11. So they're very nice to us. They gave us both of those pieces right away. Okay, 4 squared is 16 times 11 gives me 176, and we're going to leave this in terms of pi. So 176 pi meters cubed, because again, volume is 3 dimensions. Next one, hexagonal prism. So I think for a lot of you guys, the toughest part is going to be remembering how do we find those bases. Okay, we got base times height. Well, let's find our height. If this is a hexagonal prism, this is our base, which would mean the 5 is your height. Well, remember with the hexagon, if we were to draw in that center and make a triangle, we've created an equilateral triangle, right, with a side of 8. So using that formula, s squared root 3 over 4, that's going to give me the area of an individual one of these triangles, and I would have 6 of them. So I'd have to times by 6. So in this case, 6 times our side, which is 8 squared root 3 over 4. 8 squared is 64. And 64 divided by 4 is 16. So we end up with 6 times 16 root 3. And that's 96 root 3. So again, keep this stuff very formatted, because what I notice a lot of mistakes is we're forgetting to multiply by something, or we only do something once. To finish it off, 5 times 96. Again, outsides with outsides, gives us 480 root 3 centimeters cubed. Scrolling down. Okay. So now they're saying the volume is 385. The volume. Remember, volume equals base times height. The volume is 385. What did they tell us? They told us if the sides of the base are 5 and 7. So imagine here's our base, 5 and 7. Oh, well, how do I find the area of a base? Multiply those two together. So base is 35. Trying to find the height. So solving for h. Well, if I want to solve for h, I need to move that 35. So I divide 385 divided by 35 is 11. The height would be 11, and we're talking about meters. Okay. Find the volume of a prism with a square base with 5 feet sides and a height of 3 feet. Okay, find the volume. So again, V equals base times height. We're trying to find V. They gave me, it's a square base. Well, if it's square, that means they're all 5. Oh, and that's my area then. 5 times 5 is 25. And then I have a height of 3. So again, sometimes we're going to straight up just tell you that information. Don't miss that. Okay, the volume is equal to 75 feet cubed. Okay, you got a couple more here, and then we'll let you guys get off to your exit slip. Next one, volume of a cylinder. So again, it's base times height, but the base of a cylinder is a circle, so pi r squared times the height. They give us the diameter and the height. So there's your height, there's your 16. Remember, diameter, that's all the way across the circle. That's 23. I only want half of that, which is 11.5. So r is 11.5 squared. Again, we want to leave this in terms of pi, so 11.5 squared times 16. Oops, 11.5 squared times 16 is 2116 pi inches cubed. And we got one more here, a little trickier one. Imagine this roll of blue wrapping paper. Okay, the radius of the inner tube is 3 centimeters. And the diameter of the whole roll is 12. What is the volume of the paper? So again, we want to figure out the volume of the paper. We want to figure out this and then the height of it going down. So we want to take the large roll, the large I, you can think about it that way if you want to, and the big I, minus the small I, the small center, and that would then give us left what's in there. So for the large one, again, it's a cylinder, so pi r squared times the height. So pi, we have a diameter of 12 going all the way across. So that would leave this just to be 6, so 6 squared. And the height is 20 for both of these. For your small one, also pi r squared times the height. They told us r in there, the inner tube was 3 centimeters. It has the same height of 20. So on the left side, we get 6 squared, so 36 times 20, which is 720 pi. The other side, I get 3 squared, which is 9, times 20, which is 180 pi. Now, we can subtract these together. So we have 720 pi's, 180 pi's. Well, if I take 180 away, I'd be left with 540 pi. Okay, and it's centimeters cubed. So go ahead, try your exit slip. Then don't hesitate to ask questions if you